The U.S. prepares for hard-hitting Hurricane Irma after it decimates Caribbean islands, while locals worry about family members in Irma's path. Plus, a local college is applying to become a medical cannabis testing site, how the administration is planning to expand. And OU football heads to West Lafayette for a non-conference matchup, right now on Newswatch.
Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch with breaking news.
Hurricane Irma is hitting Turks and Caicos after leaving Caribbean islands wrecked. We'll have reactions from a local with family on one of the islands, plus ways you can help. But first, we'll talk about the devastation that has the whole nation reeling. The U.S. is getting ready as Hurricane Irma continues its path towards Florida. The Category 5 storm's death toll has already rose to more than 10 today. There was little damage to Antigua, but Barbuda was practically destroyed. Prime Minister Gaston Brown says the island is, quote, barely inhabitable, and the extreme weather is not over yet. Hurricane Jose is now a Category 3 and could hit those islands this weekend. President Trump says Florida is as prepared as they can be for Hurricane Irma. He made these comments in a meeting with the leader of Kuwait this afternoon.
We're very concerned. We are working very hard. We have tremendous groups of talented people there. The people of Florida are like the people of Texas, Louisiana. You've seen how the people of our country have reacted under this tremendous pressure and these horrible things that we call hurricanes.
Weather from Irma hasn't hit Athens quite yet. Its effects are still hitting home. Coordinator of Global Partnerships at Ohio University, Marion Carr, grew up in Antigua and still has family there. Carr says her brother and sister-in-law and her sister, brother-in-law, and nephew are all safe and did not sustain any significant property damage. She says she felt helpless, waiting to hear if her family was safe.
So you're nervous, you're concerned, you're trying to figure out what you can do from here, but there's nothing you can do.
Carr also has a brother that lives near Houston, and luckily he was not greatly affected by Hurricane Harvey. Matt, I know the storm is still forming, so what can we expect in these coming days?
Well, one thing that we can expect is that it'll continue to move towards Florida. Hurricane watches have been issued from
Okeechobee, and then it'll continue up the eastern side of Florida and even maintain its strength all the way up to Jacksonville and into Savannah, Georgia. Just in this afternoon, the Savannah County, even that county, has issued mandatory evacuations for visitors, and it'll continue to ride up Florida. It'll, as you can see by our graphic, it's going to maintain a Category 4 strength as it heads into the area of southern Florida, and it'll still reel near 100 mile per hour winds as it nears Georgia and the peninsula of Florida. Now we just got to keep an eye on the track as we head throughout today and into tomorrow. The track could go either way. It could even head up to South Carolina. So please be prepared. If you have any family, keep them in mind. That's really what we need to focus on, is keeping these people safe down there.
Matt, thank you, and we'll hear from you in just a little bit. The Athens and Ohio University communities are doing their part in helping victims affected by Hurricane Harvey. Donations are being accepted from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. now until Sunday at the city recreation area. Items that are currently being accepted are non-perishables, toiletries, baby formula, storage containers, blankets, and pillows. A local man will serve 10 years in prison after pleading guilty to rape charges. 20-year-old Scott Douglas II pled guilty to several felony charges of rape and unlawful sexual conduct with a minor. The Plains resident assaulted 2 girls, ages 12 and 14, in 2016. Judge Patrick Lang sentenced Douglas to 10 years in prison. Douglas is also subject to 5 years of probation upon his release. He will be classified as a Tier 3 sex offender. Nelsonville has a new police chief. Chris Johnson started the position this week. After 25 years at the Ohio University Police Department and as a Hocking College Police Academy instructor, Johnson says that he is ready to be back home.
Well, it is hometown for me. It's like most small towns, and it's the place that I truly consider home and don't want to move away from the area.
Johnson says he wants to bring change into the department that will help communication between police and residents. Hawken College announced Tuesday it intends to apply to serve as the only medical cannabis testing site in the state of Ohio. Ohio law requires an institute of higher education to serve as a medical cannabis lab testing site. The plan is to add laboratory science curriculum in the fall of 2018. Dr. Jonathan Cochet will serve as the lab's director. Hawken College President Betty Young says this is a big step forward and the decision wasn't made lightly.
We do not anticipate any less funding as a result of this. There will be, because of the new programs, our students are going to have many more opportunities, and we think it will be attractive to more students.
The lab will provide 12 new jobs, and the application will be sent to the state no later than September 22nd. The location for the lab has not been announced. Athens City Council approved the starting salary for a new Arts, Parks, and Recreation Director Tuesday. City administration offered the position to a candidate last month. The name of the person will not be released until a contract is signed. Mayor Patterson said the candidate asked to start at a little over $70,000 a year. Some council members argued the starting rate was too high, while others said they trust the mayor's judgment. Council President Chris Nisley cast the deciding vote to break a 3-3 tie.
This is within a reasonable range for department head to make, and we're facing a particularly busy time with our Arts, Parks, and Recreation.
A decision made more than 2 months ago is leaving people outraged. The Ohio Department of Natural Resources confirms the killing of 46 geese at Dow Lake back in June. The Ohio State Parks obtained a nuisance goose permit to remove the geese, but with no specified method. ODNR says the American Veterinary Medical Association recommends a rapid loss of consciousness, followed by cardiac or respiratory arrest, and ultimately a loss of brain function when euthanizing animals. For this reason, a quick blow to the head was administered. ODNR argued that this method is inhumane, but the 2013 ADVA euthanasia report states that as long as the person doing it is properly trained, it is considered a humane method. The Albany Independent Fair continues today. Currently, the fair is judging poultry and rabbits in the new livestock barn. Other events for tonight include a stringed instrument competition and a truck and tractor pull. Tomorrow, the fair is holding a demolition derby. The fair ends Sunday.
From the Newswatch Weather Center, I'm Matt Thigpen. It'll be a beautiful weekend for that fair this weekend. We'll see 60s and 70s throughout this weekend, but right now it's 65 degrees here in Athens. Partly cloudy skies, get those north winds coming out at 4 miles per hour. As we take a look at our region, it's 65 in Columbus, 67 in Newark, Cambridge at 66 degrees. Our colder spot today is New Martinsville, shockingly. 69 down in Ironton, 67 in Chillicothe. So we're in the mid to upper 60s as we see the sun setting here in about the next half an hour to an hour. Looking at tonight, we'll drop down to a chilly 48 degrees, cool evening. We'll see patchy fog start to develop because winds will be light. That'll allow that fog to form as we see diurnal effects from this high pressure system. It'll just bring that fog in, and we got to be careful tomorrow for that bus stop. So if you're heading into work tomorrow, watch out for that fog, Abby.
Thank you, Matt. The president is taking matters into his own hands and clearing the legislative to-do list for lawmakers by aligning himself with Democrats on a wide range of fiscal issues, leaving Republican leadership shell-shocked. CNN's Joe Johns reports.
We had a great meeting with Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and the whole Republican leadership.
In a stunning move, President Trump bucking his own party, cutting a deal with Democrats to provide disaster relief funding, extend the debt ceiling, and fund the government for 3 months. According to a senior White House official, Republican congressional leaders cautioned the president a day earlier that his tax reform plan would have to wait, given other legislative priorities in September. But President Trump, eager for a win, struck the deal to clear the busy GOP September agenda by knocking off 3 major issues. House Speaker Paul Ryan blasting the proposal just hours before, pushing for a more long-term solution.
I think that's ridiculous and disgraceful that they want to play politics with the debt ceiling at this moment.
A senior Republican source described Trump as being in apprentice mode, making the deal on the spot. A second source saying he cut off Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin mid-sentence. At the height of a tense meeting, sources say first daughter Ivanka Trump entered the Oval Office to pitch her agenda on the child tax credit, throwing the meeting off topic. Republican leaders visibly annoyed by her presence, and then left to answer questions on the president's unexpected deal-making.
His feeling was that we needed to come together to not create a picture of divisiveness.
I will tell you that I gasped when I heard it. I think he felt like this is the best deal he could get.
We walked out and everybody was happy. Not too happy, because you can never be too happy, but they were happy enough.
Seemingly also on the president's mind, opening the door to working with Democrats on a Dreamers bill, as more than a dozen blue state attorneys general threatened to file suit on his decision to rescind DACA. Trump denying he's sending conflicting messages about his plan after tweeting that he would revisit the issue in 6 months.
No mixed signal at all. Congress, I really believe, wants to take care of the situation. Chuck and Nancy would like to see something happen, and so do I.
Thanks, Joe. Ohio reports its first death for a major virus, what officials say caused most of the virus cases. Plus, footage shows an Ohio deputy shooting a photographer. Those stories and more next on Newswatch.
University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
Hey everybody, I'm Gridiron Glory host Joseph Payton. Every Friday night live at 11:30, we will have a jam-packed show for you with everything that went down on the local gridiron that night. From every touchdown pass to every crushing hit, Gridiron Glory is your #1 source for all things Southeast Ohio football. So please be sure to tune into our show and also follow us on Twitter and Snapchat at Gridiron Glory, and of course like us on Facebook. I promise you won't want to miss out, because remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous. Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything. Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
And we'll travel up to West Lafayette and take on the Purdue Boilermakers out of the Big Ten.
Ohio reports its first death from the West Nile virus this year. The Department of Health says the victim was a 74-year-old man from Defiance County. There have been 10 human cases statewide this year. Most people receive the virus from infected mosquito bites, and most individuals who become infected do not have symptoms. 24 people died in car crashes throughout Ohio over Labor Day weekend. The State Highway Patrol says nearly half of the people who died weren't wearing a seatbelt. They say alcohol was a contributing factor in at least 4 of the deaths. A photographer in New Carlisle is recovering after being shot by a Clark County Sheriff's deputy during a traffic stop on Monday night. The deputy says he mistook Andy Grimm's camera for a gun. Body cam video captured part of the encounter. Jordan Bowen has the story.
Clark County Sheriff's Deputy Jake Shaw fires twice without prior warning or instruction.
I'm 22. I need people here now. I need a medic here now.
Andy Grimm heard crying out for help. Immediately, Deputy Shaw realizes who he shot is no stranger.
Andy. Oh my God, dude! I got shots fired.
It's New Carlisle news photographer Andy Grimm.
Andy.
Please call my wife, dude. I was coming over to let you know.
Let him know that he was setting up his camera to take pictures of the lightning storm. Moments before the shooting, Andy Grimm was setting up his tripod while in the process of grabbing his camera out of his car. Deputy Shaw fired twice, striking him once in the side.
Andy.
I got you.
I need medics here now, 12, now.
I got you.
Andy, thought that was a freaking gun, dude.
Deputy Shaw admitting on his body camera he mistook Grimm's camera for a gun.
No, I think he just got out with the gun. It's not. There's a camera, he pulled it out like a weapon.
Deputy Shaw heard trying to comfort Grimm after shooting him.
Hey, listen, you're gonna be okay, bro. You're gonna be okay.
Hurts, dude.
You're gonna be okay.
Several times, Deputy Shaw assures Grimm he's going to be okay, and then apologizes for what happened.
Listen, you're gonna be okay. Randy, I'm sorry, brother. Listen,
I know,
dude, you pulled that out like a gun out the back of the Jeep.
I waved.
Dude.
I know, dude.
You're gonna be okay.
I get it.
You're gonna be okay, Andy.
I know, dude.
Okay? You're gonna be okay.
Grimm was rushed to a local hospital for surgery. He is back home and is expected to make a full recovery. He says he doesn't want Deputy Shaw to get fired. Shaw is on administrative leave pending an internal investigation.
We're going to see beautiful weather this weekend, but what will we see from Irma as it heads up the East Coast? That's all next on Newswatch.
And here's a look at what happened on Wall Street today.
Really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like we're having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us. Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
Hey everybody, I'm Gridiron Glory host Joseph Payton. Every Friday night live at 11:30, we will have a jam-packed show for you with everything that went down on the local gridiron that night. From every touchdown pass to every crushing hit, Gridiron Glory is your #1 source for all things Southeast Ohio football. So please be sure to tune into our show and also follow us on Twitter and Snapchat at Gridiron Glory, and of course like us on Facebook. I promise you won't want to miss out, because remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.
From the Newswatch Weather Center, I'm Matt Thickman. Taking a look at the tropics is one thing we've been focusing on is Hurricane Irma. Current winds as of 5 p.m. from the National Hurricane Center sustained at 175 miles per hour. The pressure has come up about 4 millibars up to 922, and the winds, the movement of this tropical storm is headed towards Florida west-northwest at 16 miles per hour. I wanted to take a couple pictures of this hurricane. You can see this is our satellite radar from our GOES 16 satellite up in space that they just launched earlier this year. It is just about to hit Turks and Caicos as we are speaking, and I just want to give a little emphasis on how big this storm is. So I took a picture this is from NBC in Columbus. It's 12,000 square miles. Here's Columbus right in the middle. It expands almost out to Dayton and all the way out to Zanesville. That's just the eye. Now if we take a look at the whole hurricane in perspective, 100,000 square miles, it would cover the whole state of Ohio, parts of West Virginia, Kentucky, Indiana, and even southern Michigan if it were to come up here. So here, let's take a look at the track. Hurricane Irma, down here by the Turks and Caicos, is going to move up right there. It could shift to either side of Florida, so we want to make sure everyone is aware, even on the Tampa side, Jacksonville side, and up into Savannah. It will eventually head your way. Evacuations have already been issued for Key West, Miami, hurricane watches all the way up to Lake Okeechobee. Now, if we take a look at our headlines for here, look what we want to talk about. Beautiful Friday, we'll see cool trend continuing, but our next chance for rain is actually going to be the remnants of Hurricane Irma. So if we take a look at the current temperatures right now, starting off today, 65 degrees, beautiful conditions, north winds at 4 miles per hour. Across the region, we see mid to upper 60s as we're cooling down as the sun is setting as we head into the evening hours. The almanac for today, 67 was our high today, 44 was our low. It was a chilly morning. I stepped outside and was like, ooh, I forgot my jacket. I was chilly this morning, I need a sweater. High pressure dominating our region. You can start to see Hurricane Irma head into our picture for our precipcast. High pressure will continue to dominate our weather as we head into Saturday. Clear skies, foggy conditions for both Friday and Saturday morning. Looking at that bus stop, here is that patchy fog, 51 degrees, sunny skies. Once that sun comes up by 9 o'clock, it'll burn off that fog, but it will be another chilly morning, so you and me, we both need to wear jackets, I'll tell you that. 74 down in Ironton. Sunny skies will be in the lower 70s tomorrow, so we'll warm up a little bit warmer than today. Be a beautiful day for a walk in the park or a picnic after school or work, if you know what I mean. 48 degrees. We'll see that patchy fog move into the region tonight. Those winds will stay calm. Here's a little sneak peek of Friday football. 60 degrees for tomorrow. Extended forecast, we see that rain chances move into Tuesday and Wednesday. Remnants of Hurricane Irma. Duncan.
How's it going, everyone? I'm Duncan Goldberg. And you know, that Bobcat football team, they have a pretty important game coming up against a Power 5 conference opponent tomorrow night. And not only does the football team have a big day tomorrow, but so does the volleyball team as they look to continue their early season success in an important tournament. And stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look of what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
Everybody, I'm Gridiron Glory host Joseph Payton. Every Friday night, live at 11:30, we will have a jam-packed show for you with everything that went down on the local gridiron that night. From every touchdown pass to every crushing hit, Gridiron Glory is your #1 source for all things Southeast Ohio football. So please be sure to tune into our show and also follow us on Twitter and Snapchat at Gridiron Glory, and of course like us on Facebook. I promise you won't want to miss out, because remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything. Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us. I
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming. It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous. Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, this is it. And she said, the tour's just started. I said, no, you don't understand. This is it.
Welcome back. I'm Duncan Goldberg. After playing a weaker opponent in Hampton, a Division II football team, the Ohio Bobcats football team will be upping the ante as they will be taking on and traveling to West Lafayette to take on the Purdue Boilermakers out of the Big Ten Conference. This will be a great test for the Bobcats, who were predicted to win the MAC East. The Boilermakers may not be one of the top teams in the Big Ten, but nonetheless will have a lot of talent on the football field. The Boilermakers are only favored to beat the Bobcats by 3.5 points. And sticking with OU sports, the Ohio Bobcats volleyball team will be traveling to Charlottesville, Virginia this weekend to participate in the Jefferson Cup. Their first game of the tournament will be against Howard Bison, which will take place tomorrow at 4 p.m. Then on Saturday, they will be playing in 2 games, the first against Virginia Commonwealth University and the second against the Virginia Cavaliers. So far, it has been a good start to the season for the Bobcats, as they are 5-3 on the season and 2-0 on neutral court. And the women's soccer team will be looking to stay above the 500 mark on the season tomorrow night, as they will get on the board and as they will travel to Huntington, West Virginia, to take on rival Marshall. So far this season, the Lady Bobcats are playing very well, as they are 3-2 on the season, and all their losses have been by only 1 goal, while one of them has also gone to overtime. Now switching fields and going to professional baseball diamond, the Cleveland Indians are just keep winning. The win streak for the Indians is now up to 14, and one of the reasons why they just can't stop losing is due to their stellar starting pitching. And that starting pitching was fantastic last night, as the main man, Carlos Carrasco, went 9 innings strong. He had only 3 hits, 1 run, no walks, and recording 9 strikeouts. The Indians only had 1 run going into the top of the 8th inning, but were able to add 4 in the final 2 innings to grab a comfortable 5-1 win. And the Reds, it's been a bad year for them so far this season, but last night they were able to win 7-1. The Reds got a fantastic outing from rookie pitcher Luis Castillo, as he was able to go 8 innings while only giving up 4 hits, 1 run, no walks, and 10 strikeouts. The most important thing for the Reds so far to finish the season is the younger players having impacts, and last night Castillo did just that. That will be it for me here at Sports. I'm Duncan Goldberg. Back to you, Abby.
Thanks, Duncan. Today is National Beer Lovers Day. You can enjoy your favorite bubbly beverage in a can, in a bottle, or in a stein. To join in on the fun, take a photo with your favorite ale or lager and post it to social media using the hashtag National Beer Lovers Day. In exactly 7 months, you can do it all over again for a similar holiday, National Beer Day. That's on April 7th. And Matt, let's head over to you for final weather.
And you might need to crack open a good cold one this weekend, especially if that hurricane comes up into Ohio. Once you get evacuated, open up a cold one for the boys. 48 degrees, patchy fog will develop throughout the evening. We'll see. We got to watch the kids at the bus stop tomorrow. The dense fog will hinder our visibility. Tomorrow we'll be in the lower 70s. We'll see bright and sunny skies, almost a picture-perfect day, just like today. Tomorrow, football, 60 degrees for high school football, clear skies, so you'll need a light jacket and you'll need a blanket to cover up with as you're watching any of your favorite teams. 70 degrees this beautiful weekend, 70 degrees on Saturday, 72 on Sunday, heading into the next work week, 73 on Monday, slight chance of an evening shower. As we head into Tuesday and Wednesday, that's when the remnants of Irma come to Ohio. Abby?
Thank you, Matt. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Abby Grisey. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at woub.org. Thank you.
Buddy, I'm Gridiron Glory host Joseph Payton. Every Friday night, live at 11:30, we will have a jam-packed show for you with everything that went down on the local gridiron that night. From every touchdown pass to every crushing hit, Gridiron Glory is your #1 source for all things Southeast Ohio football. So please be sure to tune into our show and also follow us on Twitter and Snapchat at Gridiron Glory, and of course like us on Facebook. I promise you won't want to miss out, because remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.